Hello everybody and welcome to this episode. Today we have a special guest. We have Robert. Robert is an AI entrepreneur and he will tell us all about NextJobs.app. And of course, he will also tell us more about how he actually got there, how to even come up with that idea. So NextJob.app, what is it? And yeah, that would be amazing to know more about it.
Yeah, so basically last year about this time, I was out of a startup roller coaster of 3 years. And I had just moved to Barcelona, so I didn't really know what I was going to do next. And I thought, okay, in the meanwhile, I can look for some jobs and see what's out there. So I started looking for jobs, right, and trying out different job platforms. And maybe as you know, those those job descriptions are super long, super hard to find the information that you really need. Mm-hmm. And I thought, hey, generative AI is almost production ready. So I started scraping some jobs from a platform, putting it into a spreadsheet, and kind of extracting information from it, in a systematic manner. And I extracted stuff like, what's the company focus? What is the role focusing on? Like, what will you do once you're in there? Like the things that I thought were interesting, right? The company's
obviously as a candidate, you want to know this, man, because I've been applying and at some point you don't even know anymore what the fucking company does, right? So, especially requirements, like the whole oh yeah, you need 20 years of experience basically. And it's like, man, this is a starter position and they all sound the same. It's like, please speak in my language, not like the very generic terms. Horrible. Well, yeah.
Yeah, totally. And, the thing that I found very, very frustrating was that, for each job listing, you had to go through 2 pages of text, right? And you had to do this for so many companies, right? And the filters were so generic, right? Yeah. Like, I don't know, developer, senior developer, product manager, marketing, whatever. Like, it was super hard to really nail it down, right? And then I made this spreadsheet and I thought, hey, wow, it's so easy to filter through these jobs. How about I pack them in a database and make them even more searchable? So this is how the idea for NextJob started. And as you guys know, we were meeting on the weekends, hacking on this together.
Hell yeah,
like each one in their on their own products.
Oh yeah, back then we were still not technical. Still, we're now a little bit technical. So we were just still brainstorming at that stage, but I fucking love it. And honestly, I'm super excited to get a demo. Are we getting a demo later? Do you have something for us later?
Yeah, I do. I prepared something nice for you guys.
I'm excited for that. So what makes it, okay, so you explain a little bit how you built it, but what makes your job board so special about it? You already explained a little bit, but could you walk us through it maybe, and then we jump into a demo?
Yeah, so the idea is that you get to type in your requirements and search through it as you would talk to a friend, right? So usually when you're looking for a job, and your friend's asking you, okay, what are you looking for? And then usually you're telling them something like, yeah, I have experience in, let's say, product management in SaaS companies. And I'd like a work environment that's maybe, friendly and with honest people, but at the same time, you want them to be, giving you real feedback. So all of this natural conversation, I kind of wanted to capture this, right? Instead of just, keywords like, product manager or,
the buzzwords.
Very, So it's more like a conversation type of experience.
I like that a lot. So does that mean, for example, because sometimes, people don't know what they're looking for, but they know who they are or what they can. So I'm like, all right, I have experience in, 3 months of coding, no code. I have built web apps with these and these features. And then they could recommend me something. I'm like, hey, based on your skills, you could be able to do this.
Right.
Ooh,
exactly.
Fuck yeah.
And also something that I saw popping out of this is very often people have a set of skills, as you say as well, that fit to various job roles, right? And people tend to think only in these kind of buzzwords, job roles, whereas they could tap into a lot bigger, let's say, job market if they went with the skills first, right? And also people who want to jump careers as well. So it's kind of a mix of all of this, and generative AI is really enabling this for the first time.
I think that's one of the biggest problems I personally see is like you have a certain amount of skills, or certain set of skills, but then you're looking at the jobs and you're like, for example, you're a product manager, okay? And then you will only most likely, if you're like looking for a new job, for another product manager role. But these kind of skills can be used for other positions or would be great in other positions as well. But in the normal thing, you're always just looking for the buzzwords, right? So like, as you mentioned, going for the skills might actually be a really great way, because then it says like, oh, I've never looked at this opportunity yet. And this might even help you because normally how you grow is like normally you switch between positions and then you learn more, as well as the salary helps a lot as well, because like then you can like flip-flop between companies and increase your salary. So, which is really, really nice. What a lot of people do in consulting. So, but it's a different story. So, end of the day, what is important for me is that the requirements thing that Luke was talking about, oh my God, that is such a pain in the ass, right? You have like 3 to 5 years requirements. And now that you have this as an AI and it actually understands what it is, it's not important actually that you have this requirement, because at the end of the day, think about it, it's not only that I can apply to that, but on the other hand, it will also the companies will understand, hey, it actually doesn't matter. Because for me, I find it hard because I want to know, all right, what is a senior developer? What does it even mean to be a senior developer? And they usually say after 3 to 5 years. What does that even mean? I could be still shit after 3 to 5 years. So that actually in AI or something, when you can qualify what you actually already have achieved and what you built, could qualify you much better for a role or something else, right? Because at the end of the day, also what I think should matter is in the velocity, right? The learning velocity. Because at some point, if you quickly pick up all the things and you have proof that you've built this or done this, you've shown that you can master these trades very fast, or at least learn them. So I think this is super, super interesting. I think this could be a great fucking opportunity as well. It's going to be interesting how the companies are going to adapt this, right? Because it's a different kind of applying process. Or how does it impact actually the applying process?
Yeah, good question. I see this, developing even further in the future. So in the beginning, the way this job board is thought of is more like a search tool, right? So it's more like an extension of your mind, if you want to see it in this way. So it's more like a job board is like a tool that you use to browse through jobs faster, getting faster to your destination, right? And then you can see it expanding into, and we already have this as a mini functionality that gives you tips on how to position yourself best. So later on in the demo, you will see this for each job. You will see which parts of your CV or of your profile you should highlight in the job interview, right?
Nice.
And it also basically intelligently sees, okay, why are you a good fit? Why are you, let's say, sometimes some things might not really be a good fit for the role, and it will say, okay, but here you might need to, learn a bit more to really be a good fit, for example.
So if I understood, please correct me here if I understood it correctly. So basically, it will help you also when you're applying for a company, right? You're applying for a certain position. It will also say, hey, please, when you're in the interview, go for this specific skill, because this will be very, very useful, because the company mentioned that this is very important for them. And that is basically, let's say, a coach that helps you get a job. Or how can I imagine that, right? It's a skill gap matching, right? In the prep, I actually I ChatGPT was like, hey, what are cool, interesting AI ideas in the job market? And one of the ideas was exactly what you just explained, Robert. It's like, hey, skill matching. So hey, you have these skills, but you're missing these. So based on that, this is the training that you can do. That's super cool. I like that.
Yeah.
My question though is, what is the current? What are the current, how are people currently solving the problem, right? For example, and then how are you going to solve it, right? Because I think it's very, very interesting, because we've been talking now about it, but just to compress it in a very short matter, how frustrating is currently the process, and of course, how is it going to be with NextJobs, right?
Yeah, so basically to answer your first question, there are attempts at different parts of this of this application pipeline, right? Because if you think about it, job search is just the very, very beginning, right? You have solutions that, for example, with AI, they apply to jobs on your behalf automatically, for example, right? But then they don't solve the job search problem. So they assume that you already have some jobs you want to apply to, and then they apply to them automatically. Then you have other solutions on the, let's say, on the other side, on the HR side of the companies that help them basically find candidates faster, right? So it's in a way the reverse part of NextJobs, where they have a database of candidates, and it's a kind of an integration into their applicant tracking system. Like imagine like integrating AI into applicant tracking systems. So you have for each of these steps, right? And there's many more than. So each step has their own kind of point solution in a way. And, NextJobs fits in, let's say, in the very beginning. So it's a tool that you as a candidate have to find the jobs that really fit you really quickly. So you could eventually save, 2-3 weeks with this.
Oh,
because,
man.
Yeah.
Like when you look for work, that's a long time when you don't have work. I mean, one of our best friends, she's looking right now for a job, and it's like, it's so painful because like you're looking for so many offers and you have to go through them. And then it's like, you're not even sure whether it's a good fit. And that, I mean, I'm sure she would be like, that's something that takes so much time. And it's just like, at the same time, it's quite depressing because you're like, you apply to so many, you don't hear back from them. And there's no way to automate it. So I totally get that problem.
Yeah, totally. This was exactly where I was at last year, right?
Yeah.
And if you guys want, we can have a quick run through the platform.
Hell yeah. Do we want this? Heck yeah.
All right. So here we are. So basically for everyone who's listening to this on streaming apps, this is basically the front page, right? Where it explains how it works and so on. And we go straight to the... Thanks. And we go straight to the sweet spot, right? So it starts with this search bar, right? So let's say, so I prepared a little demo. Let's say you're looking for jobs in London.
Yeah.
London. And then I prepared a little, right. So before I take the prepared text, it's basically like a wizard that guides you through the steps, right? So here the first step is your talents and skills. Like, what are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? And then here we have this input field where you could say something like you see here in the placeholder, I'm a UX designer and so on. And for people who need a bit of inspiration, we've prepared
I like that.
few. Right,
that's really cool.
We prepared a few. Quick starters. And let's say we want to go with a strategic IT project manager. And then it fills in this text over here, right? So you can start using it right away. Obviously, the results will be much better if you use your own text, right? And then let's say another nice feature is that people might, use this and say, okay, maybe my text doesn't sound too good, or I want it to be perfect or whatever. And then we have this button here, improve with AI. So to give you a quick example, let's say I write something really rough, like just keywords, like let's say, I don't know, good listener, good learner.
Basically it just makes it better understandable for the model to later match it with the good jobs, right? Because people tend to give in maybe less quality inputs, and then it will just like enrich in the prompt, or aka the input, and then you get better results out of it. So
in a way. So for example, here I just input some very basic terms, like let's say good listener, good learner, expertise in IT support, let's say for over 5 years, and friendly. And then I say, okay, improve with AI. Then what it does, it creates basically like a text out of it. So like adept listener and quick learner with over 5 years of specialized experience in IT support, known for my friendly demeanor, and the ability to effectively communicate and assist clients, right? And then I can go on add stuff to it, right? So this is like an iterative process. Like then I can say, I don't know. Do you guys have anything to add here? Like,
Honestly, I would like. Can you say that you're an expert in no code?
right, exactly. So then I can add to this no code expert,
With
and then maybe you can add
experience in
something.
Xano and WeWeb.
Xano, WeWeb,
Yeah.
and then
Perfect.
let's say something about your, hobbies, like love the gym,
Yeah.
love healthy food,
I guess
And gaming.
I
and
guess I soon
gaming.
have to find a new co-founder if Mark's now looking for a new job.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's why I can go.
Yeah, let's hear about that.
We gotta stop that demo right now.
Yeah.
It's too good, you guys. See you later, bitches.
And as you see here, for example, I combined like these keywords here with
yes.
the actual text. And now if I click improve again, it will go again over it and include it. So for example, here, you can see that it included very nicely. Expertise in no-code platform and so on.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
And then you could even go a bit further, right? Because this uses some large language models in the back. You can go on and say instruction, make this sound like a application for a fast-paced scale up, exactly. Right. So let's see what it does now. So we see now that it recreated the text, right? So it's now with over 5 years of specialized IT support and so on and so on. So it adopted a tone that is more suitable for a scale up, right?
Yeah.
So you can see this a
Nice.
bit like exactly like a blend between, let's say, like a ChatGPT style of experience and so on, right? Anyways, let's continue with the demo.
Yeah, please.
Exactly. So here I prepared a little bit of text, which I will just briefly copy paste into here.
Yeah.
Just to be a bit faster with the demo. So then we have the work environment. So again, the same exercise where you explain, okay, how would you want your dream job to be, your colleagues, the whole culture of the company, right? All of these parts. And then ultimately we have the third option or the third part of this questionnaire: industries and businesses. Like, where do you want to work? What industries? And this is also the part that we discussed earlier. Like, maybe people want to peek into a new industry, and sometimes people might not have a fixed industry in their minds, but they know roughly in which environment they want to work, right? Okay, now let's go and see the results. So here it has loaded this, and basically for the listeners, you have basically it shows you what your top match is. So it has this percentage, right? And the higher the percentage, the closer the role is to your profile. And for example, here the top match is 68.6%, which is pretty high.
Yeah.
So this is almost like as good as it gets, right? Obviously,
what's the highest you ever seen?
The highest, I would say around 70%.
Man,
Yeah.
this is so cool. You have to give me access to this, or I want to show it to our friend so she can try it, because I'm sure that will be like, because man, this looks super cool and directly like gives you like the options.
On the left, you can even refine it even further. Nice.
Exactly. So basically, what you see here, you see these job cards, right? Like on all job boards, but they're a bit, a bit simplified. Like here at the top, you see all of those details that you really want to see on the first glance, right? So you see at first the similarity, which is like pretty high, and then you see those three things that I mentioned earlier. You see what the company is focusing on, right? Environmental sustainability, right? Very nice. Then you see your role. So what does your role entail? So you will do market and grow BNGAI software in the UK. And then the requirements is innovative marketing, excellent communication, data-driven decision making. So it is zero fluff, and you can just skim this through various job cards.
So much quicker.
And exactly. And then you also, of course, have all the basic details, like how much years of experience you need, what level this is, if they specify a salary upfront or not. hybrid and hybrid, remote, all of these things.
Yeah.
Here you can see all the perks and so on. And now we get to this career coach type of feature, like this green box here, and it says, okay, why am I a good fit for the role? Right. Yeah. And it highlights basically your experience and so and so.
I've never seen this before. This is really, really cool. Just looking at it, because like
also first question interview, why are you a good fit?
Yeah, I mean,
you just read it off.
I mean, it's the first time I'm seeing this, and I'm like, this is so cool, because like every time when you apply to a job, you are the only one who are judging you're judging yourself and think like, am I a good fit? And after seeing 5 applications, you never you lose so track of it. So it's really cool. Because it's basically, it's taking away, it makes the feedback loop way faster, right? Because normally it takes like a few weeks to even hear back. And then you have to judge yourself maybe why, or imagining why it might be a not good fit or good fit. So it's really, really cool. So basically you're accelerating the feedback loop, the first one of like why you might even be a good fit and how to position it. Really, really cool.
Does it also say if you're not a good fit? That's like, if it's like 10% similarity, it's like, sorry buddy, you kind of suck for this.
Yes, exactly. So actually it does this because if you look at the filters, basically at the filters here, for example, I picked London as a location, right? And we know that London has tons of jobs. So, almost anything you can do, you find a job there, So now let's pick something that has like a very, let's say, doesn't have so many jobs, right? And
some small village.
Let's pick something. What can we pick?
I don't know.
Like at the moment we cover basically jobs in the UK, Spain, and many remote jobs throughout the US and Europe, and also hybrid jobs.
My question is, how do you, so for example, these jobs that are being listed there, so is it basically a combination of all the other job boards? So basically hacking it together, or because like we've seen like so many different job boards, right? And they all have their own listings. Or is this basically, hey, it's like an aggregator, you see all the offers as well as like, and then can filter through them with the AI?
It is an aggregator, as you said. At the moment, we are aggregating jobs, and at the same time, we are also looking to partner with different recruitment companies or directly with companies to basically have a direct collaboration with them. Because you see, the problem with aggregators in general is you don't have, let's say, the data is not very clean, so to speak, and some things might be missing. Whereas if you work directly with let's say the organization that is looking for a role, you get to have all the data that is required to create this AI search to make it good, right? So the more time will pass, the more partners we will onboard, the better the quality
increases. But it's really very nice because like in the end, we always in these marketplaces, because it's basically a marketplace, right? It's like you have the chicken and egg problem. You need to attract like the people who looking for a job, and of course the jobs, right? And that way, by like hacking it together, being an aggregator at the beginning, it gives you the opportunity directly to fill it, right? Because it's nobody likes to go into an empty marketplace. Everybody wants to
press apply. I want to see apply. What does it have? Exactly. What does it do?
Exactly. So here you have two functions. You have learn more, and learn more basically shows you the whole job description, which see is huge, right? So let's say you are curious about the role, you want to see more, so you click there. And when you click apply, you will be taken directly to the source website, so you can apply on the website of the company, right? And then basically take it from there, right? Wait a second. I think I had to share that tab with you. Right.
No worries.
So basically now you can see.
Yeah.
So now you can see basically this is the whole job posting of the of the company that's hiring, and you can then basically apply directly on this page, right? So this is kind of it.
That is super cool. I have another few questions. One of them is, of course, how are you going to make money, right? So, because like in the end, it's like it's a startup. you are, in the end, like, how are you planning to monetize it, right?
That's a good question, and this brings us back to the chicken egg problem, right? We had earlier, because it's kind of like a two-sided marketplace. So, how do you make money here? So in the beginning, we thought about it a lot, and we decided to basically offer a free version. And in the free version, you get to see 5 jobs, only 5 jobs. But you won't see the hottest 10 jobs, right? So, for example, let me maybe show it to you visually, because it's just a bit easier. Sorry, listeners, on podcasting apps. You would have to go.
This episode, exactly. It's a visual one, but actually on Spotify, guys, you can also see it. They have a video function. We will also upload the video on Spotify.
Very nice.
So yeah, check it out for sure there.
Exactly. So basically, now I have logged out, and I will read you the search that we did earlier whilst being logged out, right? So let's go back to London. And then we had this role here that I prepared. Let me copy this in like this. And now the last one, the industry and business part. And here you can see now how, basically, since I'm logged out and I'm not a premium user, I get to see some jobs. But for example, here it says I cannot see the top 10 jobs, so they're locked. And it shows that, okay, the top job has a 68.6%. That is very, very hot, right? And I can only see jobs that are, let's say, from the 11th position onwards. And the job I can see here is only 54% similar, roughly, right? So I do have some jobs here that I can apply to, but of course, it's a lower probability that I am a good fit, right? And then as you scroll down, basically, you can only see 5 jobs. And if
you don't get to see the
jobs,
advice. Nice.
Exactly.
Also, all right, then the next questions. First of all, how much is it going to cost? Second of all, I think it's not a question, it's just like an insight I already had. I think that would be super cool to have a scale to show similarity, how hot it is. That's anything above 60 and above, because you mentioned above it in the note, 60 something, aim for 60. But if there's only, you said 70 is the highest, or 70 something is the highest you've ever seen. So that means you have to, I would need to know as a user, anything above fucking 65 is fucking amazing already. So 70, it's a go-getter, because we are so primed on 100.
Yeah.
Right? And this seems to be of a...
that's a very good feedback. Actually, I will, I will implement this. It's very true. I actually said what's the minimum you should aim at, but maybe I should also say what's kind of the maximum. And
what makes it hard, right? Because it's everything over this is fucking great. That's something you can always just hey, over this, dream job. Or I like that. Bring your character in there, right? I think personally, I think it's always really cool when you can see the character of the brand just shine through the little things. Maybe this is fire or stuff like this, very. But it's very cool, I have to say. I like the advice, to be honest. I think that's one of the cool things where especially LLMs can shine very, very well. Specifically in the long run, once you have more and more data, because you can always ask for feedback from the users, and then you can train them on the, give more training on how to interviews, etc. Because also think about it now with the, guys, I want to take you on experience now, because I'm spinning this right now, because I'm what else could be NextJobs be, right? Because I'm going down the rabbit hole when basically you applied for the job, and then you get to the interview stages, and now you could even basically have a prep interview with it, just with AI, because basically what AI you can just basically have a catalog of this company. These are the interview questions scratched from the internet. Now you have an AI voice that literally just will be we have different personality types. You can say, hi, I want to have a more this type of interviewer, this type and this type, so different types of interviewers. Because everybody has different types, and then you can prepare yourself, because for example, you're more the the quiet type, so you might be performing better with another analytic guy, right? So in that way, and it's with voice, which is directly you can and then you get feedback, and then you're like, hey, you're well prepared. I'm just spinning it out.
But it needs to be voice. It needs to be voice, because texting, I feel like you have to enough time. So if someone calls you, that's sick. Nowadays, totally possible.
Bro, it's a premium feature then, right? Because then I was like, hey, we got you to the interviews, and then I was like, hey, do a prep call whether our model trained or has access to interview data or whatever, and then man, it gets better. Man, I think it's. What are you guys' thoughts?
I like it. Because I mean, now I'm thinking, and the last couple of days, I've been looking a lot into voice AI startups. I think we can also bring some of that later. And super fascinating. There are so many markets that are underserved right now that a voice can be used in, because everyone has done the chat AI interface. And at some point, fucking hate it. Like the texting on my phone, like, But if I can just fucking have a voice on it, especially older generations, like, all right, we're still used to typing, we're kind of fast, I'm guessing, but older generations, I'm guessing 50 plus, man, they have everything on plus.
Look at
plus
our
150.
Mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at mom, just like she does the one finger search for the letters, right? Just like holds with one phone and like. Okay, and it's like, Mom, let me just take your phone. I type for you. Just like you get the anxiety.
Yeah, I totally see this as well with with my parents. They use the voice feature so much. Like every time they search something on Google, they open the search feed, like the voice search, and then they speak it in, right? And also some idea that I had the other day was, when you get to meet someone, like a new business contact, and then you stay in touch via LinkedIn oftentimes, or you want to send an email, and you like the way I do it, for example, I write a quick note to that person in the LinkedIn invitation and say, hey, it was really nice to talk about this and this at this and this place, right? And it might be very well that we don't speak again for a longer period of time. And then when I look back, I just open the messages and I see, okay, I met that person there and there.
Smart.
But the thing is, right. And here comes the thing. If you do this with various people, like right in a sequence, let's say you're in a group of people, right?
Yeah.
Like this happens very often, after a talk or at a conference. Very often I have to type this in whilst I'm talking to the other person, and it's a bit like not very polite. And I thought, hey, how about there was a function where I could just talk into my phone and say, I met this person here and there, we talked about blah blah blah, and just compose a quick LinkedIn note for them, you know, and then I could just quickly say this in like 5 seconds, press send.
So nice.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel the same way when I'm like have a normal call on Zoom or Google Meets, and I'm taking notes, right? Because I'm like, I don't know, calling with the advertising network or something like this, and I feel the same way that I'm like, man, I wish. I mean, right now there are tools out there, right, that capture it for you and then like give you the notes. But that would be awesome with like LinkedIn notes, because I think that's so important. Same with the follow-ups, right? So for example, we just have a call. Imagine we are in a Google Meets, and then after this, or Riverside itself, afterwards, it would just say, hey, Robert, it was amazing that you were one of our guests. And it was really, really cool talking about NextJobs.app. And yeah, would love to have you on another call to brainstorm on more AI ideas, right? So basically, because there's nothing better, at least personally from my experience, than like at the end when you meet somebody, just like giving reassurance, but like, hey, it was really, really nice. Like whether it be for business as well as on personal level. So I think that's really cool.
Totally.
The classic follow-up.
Yeah, always follow up. And it's really, really nice.
Yeah, I stumbled upon an app. I think it's pretty popular nowadays. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called Fireflies. It's for Google Meets and so basically you can use it with various video conferencing software, and it joins the call. Like it's like a bot that joins the call, and all it does is it records the call, and at the end it creates a transcript and an AI summary of it.
Nice.
Right? And then basically Yeah. So you get to, just focus on the call and not take notes all the time, because I used to always take notes and not,
Yeah, me.
you know,
That's me.
yeah. So it is still a bit rough around the edges, especially the AI summarization part, because it doesn't go too deep into the key takeaways, right? So at the end, it gives you a document and it says, okay, this is like kind of like an executive summary. These are the action points for person 1, 2, 3, and so on. But it's still not very good at capturing, let's say, very, very detailed bits and pieces, right? Because obviously it cannot know in a way. It's very high level. But this is something that you were mentioning just now. And I can totally see this getting better over time, right? So,
for sure. The model's getting better, and then it will get better as well. By the way, guys, I'm just looking it up right now. How many organizations worldwide are using Firefly right now? Just give me a guess.
Are you having it on your screen right now?
I'm just looking it up right now. Just give me a number. Just like spit it out. What are you guessing?
100,000.
I don't know. Let's say percentage wise, I would say maybe 2%, 1% to 2%. I don't know.
Well, it's 300,000 companies, organizations are using Firefly right now. This is crazy.
I think, Lucas, a friend used it. She has an agency, and I think she used it for calls.
Yeah, I mean,
so of course, it's actually fucking smart because she said that she's Spanish, and sometimes she had English calls with the English natives, and then when they were talking too fast, he wouldn't get everything, and then she would use this tool, and then afterwards she would like write them an email, and they're like, "Oh man, that's so awesome! I thought you didn't get everything I said." And she's like, "Yeah."
It is smart. I mean, in general, because I wonder when this will be integrated directly into Google Meets, right? Because this is right now an add-on, right? You have to edit in there. So when will Google Meets, Zoom have their own, or maybe they even acquired? Might also just be happening. Who knows? But
probably. You see, like this is a common theme amongst, like, let's say in the AI startup world. Because new startups get created by integrating some sort of AI into a business process.
Yeah.
And especially in productivity tools, for example. And then once it works, the big companies realize, hey, but we can do this very easily with our own tech,
or just buy it. That makes so sense.
So probably at some point, maybe at some point AI will be just infrastructure, just like today the cloud is infrastructure. You just upload a container with your code and it just runs. So maybe this will be the future. Maybe AI will be inside everything, so it's not like a product anymore. It's almost like programming languages or
feature.
It's just there.
I like it, honestly.
That is really, really cool.
Do you have any other? No. I want to have another. All right. We talked already about a few things, but we also like to brainstorm just a little bit. So you're fucking obviously excited about HR and job applications and AI. What is a different market that you'd be interested in? Be like, man, if I didn't build this, I would have gone in that direction.
Man, this is a very good question, and I really love the fact that you are asking me this question. Because I see the possibility of this type of matching, right? Pretty much everywhere. So something that I kind of tried, but again with spreadsheets, was a little side thing with events. So there's all of these event sites, right? For example, okay, what to do tonight in Barcelona or in Berlin or in London or wherever. And you have these huge directories with like hundreds of events for a Saturday night. And you really want to know, hey, how cool would it be if the platform would know my preferences, and show me a ranking, just as I showed you earlier with the jobs, right? That would be a really cool thing to do, and then I would just type in, hey, I want an event that's, let's say, it's maybe not too loud, has some jazz music in, and let's say it's exactly. You can sit. It's at a nice venue. Stuff like
it
this.
It offers food.
No, but think about it even further. Look, if you can backwards integrate this, because with Google APIs, and they could be like at some point you could be like, all right, normally we know it's a Tuesday night at this jazz restaurant. There's usually 32 people based on, I don't know, location. Google's like, we are not tracking you, but we know this is busy at that time. Because I don't know if you've seen that, but in most restaurants or in general gyms as well, they say these are the hours when there's most people are there. I mean, they get in the data from somewhere. I'm guessing it's based on location. So that'd be super sick, like, because then you can cross-reference exactly your idea with something like, because some people don't want to go, for example, the opposite. They don't want to go somewhere where there's just two people. You know what? Lucas went to like a language exchange one time. He's like, "Woo, it's gonna be so much fun!" And there's like two creepy dudes, and he's like, "Man," but then you can't. Okay, the thing is like, yes, you know that a lot of people, but you don't know what kind of people, right? So I think that's like where the LLM could like really shine, because in the end you can type in more about you, which makes it then more personalized. Of course, we're still running the risk that everybody says that they're cool, and everybody says they're cool. You still like end up with the same people. I would argue you don't even have to do that, because I think where you are already is a filter of what kind of people are there. Right? Okay. It's like if you go to a place where only you're gonna find a certain people, the W Hotel. If you go to that Sunday beach party, whatever the party is, you're gonna find a specific crowd of people. And so that's jazz. Jazz is not everyone's music. That's very, very specific. I think you're only gonna find a specific type of people. Obviously, it's a spectrum, but I think it's a pre-filter. So I would argue against your case.
All right,
but just my opinion.
I take it.
And even better, you could also apply this, for example, to let's say to dating apps, right? But this only works when you have a profile, right? Mm-hmm. If you have just a few words, it really doesn't work too well, because if I go just a bit technical here, the way these systems work is that they create for each document, right? Be it a job description, be it an event description, be it a profile description, it creates kind of like a representation with numbers, right? Mm-hmm. And then it just compares exactly the vectors, right? And then it just compares the vectors, how similar they are to each other. So you can compare this, or you can use this for any application where have with text, right? So anything in the world that has text, you can apply this to, and this is the beauty of it, right? It's right there at your fingertips, and there are endless possibilities.
Go ahead, Lucas. Go ahead.
No, so I have another question in general, because this is all related with it, right? It's a question that Mark and I always ask ourselves when we look at AI startups or AI ideas. Is like, are you afraid or excited for the new AI models releases, right? So for example, with the job board, like, are you afraid with like ChatGPT 5 comes out, or you say, fuck yeah, that's amazing? So, because like, I think this might be a good indicator as well, like for a startup idea, whether this is a good one or maybe not so good, right?
But, or temporarily only good, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's also like a good category.
Yeah, this is a good question, and I think I've heard this question as well on a podcast that that probably both of us are listening to. So I think in this case, so maybe let's zoom out a little bit, right?
Yes.
So why does this question even exist? I think there are some type of products that let's say try to do what. In a way, they're a wrapper, right? They're like, okay, we take an LLM and plug it into, let's say your text editor, or something very generic, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, these kind of startups might have difficulties when, some integration comes in from, let's say, Google Docs, right?
Yeah.
Then they have a problem, right? And then there's this other class of companies that take the AI almost like crude oil and transform it into something else, right? Yeah. Something very specific. And they genuinely benefit when the power of these systems grows. So in the case of NextJobs, how I see it at the moment is that recruitment is an industry for itself. Or in itself, or by itself. What's the correct one? So it's very hard to see or hard to believe that a very big company that does, let's say, generic software like Google, Amazon, and so on would try to go on and take on recruiting. So in this sense, when AI gets better, the solution gets better, but it won't be replaced because it is, in a way, it is niche, as in more niche than a text editor, or more niche than your browser, or more niche than an email program, or these kinds of things. I don't know if this makes sense. So it kind of transforms the AI into a niche industry, right? And you can apply this also to, logistics, supply chain, construction. Every industry that is very niche will benefit from improved AI.
So in general, I'm the similar opinion, because I think like it will be just getting better, because in the end it's like what people input. So you don't train the model, right? In the end, it's all what you do is you help the user to basically optimize the input, which then gives them better profile. So in general, of course, GPT-5, etc., the new models will just be very, very helpful. Because I'm always thinking about, look at the iPhone releases, the App Store, right? When we're talking about wrappers, before, when the iPhone first came out, there was no there was a flashlight app, right? You had to download an app to integrate it, right? And later there's then the flashlight directly integrated in the OS. And that's the same thing that we've seen with ChatGPT, etc. But then, like, for example, the job board that you're using, it's just getting better, because like in the end is like your main juice is not it's like basically what you're offering, your solution. And the other one, the engine, aka the models, when they get better, it just makes it even better, the product. So I completely agree that is like makes it better.
I just want to pop it up additionally, because I think we're talking about a lot of wrappers. I mean, what is a software as a service product except as a database wrapper, right? Any SaaS product is just a database wrapper, most of them. So at the end of the day, just because there's PostgreSQL or whatever database you're using, all these things doesn't mean anything to my mom. They don't give a fuck what is it based on, right? They just want that when they log in, they have the information. So end of the day, I think it's the same way with the more complexity we add to it in terms of integration to other networks. These big companies are not going to do it. So I think the same with recruiting, like, because you have so many, I'm going to call it intralinks in between your website, then LinkedIn. I mean, you do scraping, etc. There's no point, at least in the chat I see in the next future, that OpenAI adds that, because it's too complicated, right? End of the day, users want, the attention gets lower and lower, and the interfaces are getting dumbed down. So even even a 5-year-old can use most of the apps, right? And I think that's exactly what is going to happen as well. And that's why I think these kind of wrappers, they might be wrappers, but they're going to take off, man, because it's all about convenience for people. It's
totally. And you see, I think this is something that we also talked about at some point. It's also a matter of, let's say, the business model itself and the distribution, right? Because if you have, let's say, if you do a solution in recruiting or a marketplace, right? It's not just the technology behind it. The technology is just an enabler. It makes things easier, right? And maybe at the beginning it will give you some attention. It will, it's like this new thing. But once, let's say, every job board would come and integrate something like this, like the big ones, Indeed, LinkedIn, whatnot, right? At some point, maybe they will integrate it, right? But the reason why they are so powerful and why they are so successful is because they own the distribution. People know about them. Companies know that if they post their job there, candidates will find them, and vice versa. Candidates know that there's a lot of jobs on them, right? So maybe also coming back to what I said earlier, that AI will at some point be like a infrastructure, like the databases that you guys mentioned, right? That everything will have AI in it, and then at some point it will just be ubiquitous. Everyone will have it, and the only differentiator will then be the business model, the relationships, the distribution. How hard do you hustle to actually, sell your product, convince people of it, and so on.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing. It's like nowadays it's still like AI is like very a new thing, right? It's like mobile internet. Back in the day when like iPhone came out, how many people had like mobile internet on their phones, right? Or like real browser experiences. And nowadays we don't even think about it. It's just like so in our daily integration. And the same will happen with AI. So I think, yeah, I agree. That's a great opportunity.
Totally, and I'm also like another good example. I'm using a very nice browser integration for ChatGPT. It's called Monica. It's really nice. I've been using them for over a year now, since the beginning when they were very scrappy. When they had only a few functionalities, and then they evolved a lot. So now they have a lot of premium features, upsells, so on. They integrate with different models. Very good tool. Very good tool. I use
Monica.
it when
I'll write it down.
Yeah. It's a Chrome extension. I bet they have an extension also for other browsers. And, it's very practical when I have a long article and I'm like, okay, I have other things to do. I just want to know the gist of it. And I select the whole article and then a text box appears and I can type in like a question.
Do you pay for it?
Well, I use the free version because like the free version only has GPT 3.5, which is still okay. I mean, if I just want to know the big stuff in like the high level stuff in an article, it's okay. But for more complex stuff, I prefer to go into the ChatGPT interface and do it. But the point here is, I don't know where they will head if Google decides to integrate this into Chrome directly, right? And or for example, if Google decides to integrate it into Gmail, because Monica is really neat for Gmail. It has like also like a little icon there, and you can see, okay, compose an email doing this and that. It also has like a YouTube summarization feature for the videos and so on, right? So the question is, what will they do once Google has all of these things, right? And it's very interesting because besides NextJobs, or let's say I do NextJobs besides my actual work, which is AI consulting. And it's very interesting that I get to see all of these use cases where there are tools that you can integrate very well with different companies that I work with, and many of them are, as you say, they might be afraid when the next integration comes along. So yeah, it's a very interesting space to watch.
I'm fucking pumped. I mean, on the YouTube thing, I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't think they're gonna add the summary just because they want people to stay there as long as possible. But like,
exactly, I see more ads. I see more ads. They're like,
for me,
can we extend the video?
Exactly. We have an AI that makes the video even slower.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe there will also be like a further segmentation of the audiences, right? I think we also discussed about this, that there's people who prefer very short format, and there's people who prefer longer format, right? And then maybe YouTube thinks, okay, we will create a summarization feature for people who like very short-term stuff, and then we will do some.
That's true.
We will.
It's all true.
It's so interesting, right?
I mean, I think there is always still a niche for everything, which is fucking fascinating, right? Gmail, then you have Superhuman, which is just Gmail, just a little bit on steroids. And there's all these kind of things that you can do, but there's still a niche market that you can target and somehow find, because the world is massive and it's just getting more and more people online. So, fuck yeah. All right, Robert, I think... Give us a one-liner as NextJobs, where they can find you.
And of course, where can they find you?
Yes, and NextJobs, when does it go live? Give us a outro, please.
Right. So thanks, guys. So NextJobs will be launching officially 6th of August on Product Hunt.
Nice.
And obviously also on the social networks. You can find me on LinkedIn, Robert Hangu, first name, last name. Same on Twitter X. Actually, on LinkedIn it's Robert-Hangu, and on X Twitter it's Robert Hangu, one word. So you can follow me there, see what I post. I post a lot about the consulting work that I do. I do case studies. I will also post extensively about NextJobs, all of its features. I'm happy to participate in the conversation. So yeah, feel free to
And of
to get
course,
in
you
touch.
find it all below in the link below, right? In the description, guys. So you don't even have to type it. Just click it because we all know it's like, God damn it, how do you spell that? And then don't worry, we'll put it all in the description so you just can click on it.
Ah,
and
right.
then, of
And
course,
last one, YouTube as well, where I do videos.
Yes.
So just forgot about it. All right, Lucas,
yeah.
go with the pitch.
of course. I was like, hey, find it all out in the description below, guys. So, of course, we'll have it all in the description. Also, we will have it all in categories. So you can always just like skip through if you're like, okay, guys, I want to see the brainstorming. Go for it. And yeah, of course, we also link the launch of Product Hunt. So if you find it, you can directly then go and support it, check it out. And yeah, Robert, thank you for coming. It was an amazing
Thank
time.
you.
And of
Guys,
course,
it was
hope to have you soon on again to have some AI brainstorms, because I think that's always amazing.
Thanks a lot, guys. It was a pleasure as always. Keep up the good work, and I hope to see you soon in person again.
Of
Hell
course,
yeah.
once you're back in Barcelona, let us know.
This is
All right, brother.
All right,
See ya.
guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.